Okay, so let's just get back into it. Welcome to the community AMA for OpenxAI. We're just going to commence the AMA now. First off, let's hand over to Ashton to give us an update with OpenxAI.
All right. Okay, cool. So I was talking about the one of the great achievements that we hit like a few hours ago, which was 10,000 whitelists for our base mini app factory campaign. I think it's a great achievement for our community and also our team and all the supporters that supported the campaign. I mean, to be honest, even we haven't even had much uh, like a marketing push for this campaign. We barely did some push, to be honest. So having 10,000 whitelists with a relatively like a decent amount of efforts is really good. So today or tomorrow we will have some more support from official base. So we are in touch with the base team to announce officially. So we'll get more. But to me, this 10,000, for sure there will be some low quality submissions and deployments. Even if it's 10% activated, it's just still is a big number, right? So imagine being able to deploy 1,000 apps, so which is 10% of 10,000 whitelist, right? Um, so 10,000, just 1,000 apps deployed, and pushing that to base ecosystem. And and if that happened, then we will be one of the largest app creator in the base ecosystem, which is really really excited to see. So new dates now we have. We wanted to make sure the quality of the deployments are good. We're experimenting a concept called like a like a bot that can control the submissions. When I say control, like at least like doing a quality check. So the deployments dates now, it's on 20th of November. And then we are planning to make the announcements for winners on 4th of December. Yeah, so for the next couple of days, I would say you're probably going to hear a lot about this campaign and our traction so far from a multiple places, which is really really exciting to hear. Um, I mean, to be honest, I didn't expect 10,000 whitelists, right? So in a shorter amount of period, which is a really something really inspiring to see. The second big update, something that we've been working behind the scene for quite some times now. If you look at our main platform, it's called X Studio. Now, X Studio is where people can deploy AI models. Current functions of the X Studio is predominantly being able to build like a AI services. So our value proposition for current X Studio is, you can launch your own AI service, AI company from anywhere in the world, and you can provide that AI services to anybody in the world. In other words, you can do peer-to-peer AI service offering and also consumption. So that's our core technology. Um, but what we've been building right now is a marketplace. So we're working on a marketplace. Um, so that marketplace, once when this is launched, um, is going to be one of the largest marketplace for AI services in Web3. Um, I've been looking at other marketplaces, especially for people to go and buy AI agents, AI services, AI models, AI data sets, AI compute GPU. There's only few marketplaces available, but most of these marketplaces are not even a marketplace. It's basically like a library of an existing like a SaaS technology. What we are building right now, it's a similar like a OpenSea. For those who are not familiar with OpenSea, it's one of the largest NFT marketplace. So people can go and buy and rent. They don't have a renting function, but um, mainly people can buy and bid NFTs. So think about NFT instead of NFT, just replace that with AI services, AI models, AI agents, GPUs, and compute, and etc. So that's what we are building. So we essentially we're building OpenSea for AI stuff. It's going to be fully Web3 native, which means people can connect their wallet and simply browse the marketplace, and people can buy and sell things. And a cool feature that we have is called renting. So you can actually rent someone else AI service. So if I were to give you an example, let's say we're running multiple community events right now. If you guys are looking at our social media, you'll be able to see there are multiple like a developer ecosystem development work we do across Asia, across Europe and US. Um, these efforts, what we're expecting, these developers that we onboard, we provide them infrastructure, we give them resources, and they will be building these AI services on our network, on our platform. Then we will be kind of highlighting the most, let's say, valuable, most useful applications on the marketplace. So then people can come and see which apps are useful, and if the apps happen to be really, really useful, and if the utility is good, people start consuming these services. So let me give you some examples what kind of a services we might be hosting in the coming weeks. So let's say someone built a maybe let's say crypto a sentiment bot. So how the application works, you basically double click the app and you open up the app, and you can just copy paste the text from anywhere, and you can ask if it's what is the sentiment of that text. Another application might be something like, I know a lot of you like charts. So imagine you can take a screenshot of a chart and you can upload the chart, and you can ask the AI agent to actually give you a technical analysis instead of you waiting for your favorite YouTuber to give you a technical analysis of Bitcoin. You can take a screenshot from TradingView or your Binance account or Bybit account, take a screenshot of a Bitcoin chart or any favorite coin that you like, and you can upload into the trading let's say technical analysis bot, and it can give you some details. So there will be a lot of useful things on our marketplace. So these are a couple of examples. Um, we'll be looking at across the board from a utility to fun games. I think Base Media Factory, all the apps that we find, let's say, really good and highest quality will be listed on the marketplace as well. Since these Base Media Factory, uh, the functions, you can push your Base Mini apps directly into marketplace. So it's kind of like act like an NFT because you can mint an NFT out of your Base Mini app. So what that means, people will be able to discover other people creations, because like if you look at the evolution, um, let me ask from John to maybe mute his mic. John, could you mute your mic, please?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. So if you look at like a create economy in the last 6 to 8 months, if you look at Zora, if you look at most of these create economy use cases, we see a really good adoption in the ecosystem. So what that means, the co-ownership of content, co-ownership of services, it's like a sharing economy is coming to Web3. So I think that's why, like the idea of having a marketplace where people can create their creativity, whatever the creativity they have, they can create whatever services that they want to showcase. They can push that into marketplace so anyone can discover. The cool thing about our network, since our network provides the compute, it provides the hosting services, it provides like content delivery network services, which is what you really need in order for you to host a service. Think like a Google Cloud, right? The OpenxAI underneath the network is provided by OpenMesh. So OpenMesh is a decentralized cloud network. So you as a user, you are basically utilizing decentralized services. We don't have any centralized services like AWS or Google, etc. Most of Web3 services, like AI services that you find in the industry today, most of the infrastructure, they rely on existing, let's say, cloud provider. In our case, we spend like 4 years building everything from ground up in order to preserve the decentralization and permissionless properties, because I think that's the future. That's why it took a long time for us to go from 0 to 1. So I'm very excited about the idea of the marketplace. So we will be launching in a multiple phases. That's why the base mini app factory, it's kind of like our beta test, to be honest. It's kind of our first experiment for us to see how people come into one of our a service. They can create an application, which is the base mini app, and they can push into marketplace. They can populate the marketplace and see how people interact with that marketplace. So in the marketplace overall, it's not going to be just base mini apps. Like I mentioned, it will be a collection of things. So we're going to prioritize a couple of things when we launch our marketplace. The first collection will be obviously AI, specifically chatbots that trained for specific industries. We are going to see a lot of maybe chatbots that trained for specific narratives in crypto specifically. Um, like I mentioned, like sentiment analysis, maybe in the meme coin industry, there will be a lot of utility services, and we will be also hosting a couple of agents on the marketplace for certain purposes and certain functions. On the marketplace, we will also have a category for GPUs and compute, so people can buy GPU like you're buying crypto. Imagine you're able to buy a kind of a GPU, and the GPU itself is you can tokenize it, and I think it's a really nice it's going to be a really nice innovation in the Web3 space, because in the AI sector, um, I consider like the Web2 AI sector, uh, it has a lot more fuel to go. It's kind of in the bubble territory, to be honest, in the Web2 world, because valuations are crazy. Startups raising billions of dollars without even having a product. If you go to US, especially San Francisco and New York, I've been hearing a lot about the hype. The hype is just kept going, but I think it might slow down next year. But one particular trend in the AI is being consistent in terms of month to month, in terms of growth and the demand. It's basically the infrastructure. So therefore, that's why I think we are well positioned ourselves to become like a infrastructure provider. Um, we will be starting with Web3, of course, because Web3 is our bread and butter. Um, all the members in the ecosystem will be able to witness a great marketplace. We're gonna do a product demo very soon to community. Um, we meant to have that event like the second week of November, as you guys can maybe recall. That's why we pushed that to December. But the whole idea is to showcase that marketplace and the actual the capabilities of the new X Studio. Because if you guys think the current X Studio is sexy and is good, if you guys think that's good, but the version that that I'm actually referring to is 10 times better. It has 10 times capabilities in terms of functions, in terms of innovation. So another concept out of the marketplace that we are working on. Um, Now, if you think about like Hugging Face, so Hugging Face kind of one of a popular ecosystem in the Web2 world. Hugging Face, last time I checked, is about maybe $4 to $5 billion worth ecosystem, and they have a couple of millions of users. Hugging Face is the largest AI ecosystem in the world today. Um, However, if you go to Hugging Face, and if I create some sort of an AI service, or if I train a foundational model, because if you really think about the economics behind a training a model, so let's say I take a foundational model. So foundational model can understand basic text. It can predict what's the next word is going to be. That's how the large language model works. But if you take a language model, large language model, if you ingest with some specific data sets, like for example, let's say ingest in the last 4 years of entire meme coin industry, as an example, right? So you scrap entire meme coin data across social medias from on-chain data. You just pull everything and you ingest the entire data sets into this foundational model. Now all of a sudden the general purpose foundational model, it becomes like a meme expert. You can ask anything from this chatbot or this foundational model, and it gives you like a really good answers because it's being fine-tuned and trained for that purpose. So and the problem with Hugging Face on a Web2 infrastructure or Web2 ecosystem. So if I, let's say, um, created that kind of a fine-tuned model, I can go and list on Hugging Face, right? So you can just upload the model and you can announce to the community and say, hey guys, I just trained uh, this basic foundational model. I upload that to the community. You guys can go ahead and use it. The the issue there, of course, that's good for social good. Um, However, when you talk to a lot of people in this ecosystem, like Hugging Face ecosystem, obviously they want to build a business around it. So what that means, it would be nice. Let's say if I spend 6 months um, building and fine tuning a model, if I'm uploading into a marketplace, it would be nice for those who are consuming it is actually paying me, right? It doesn't have to be like $20. It could be maybe $0.001, right? It doesn't have to be a large income. So if you create that kind of a capabilities, so all of a sudden, not only people are taking these things seriously, but people are going to consider this is like a full-time thing. So that's why I say we are our marketplace, our capabilities can enable like AI entrepreneurship and AI builders. It can accelerate really well. The example of Hugging Face, the problem that I highlight to you guys, um, you cannot sell your services on Hugging Face, and you cannot accept payments on Hugging Face because it's a marketplace and there's no way for you to, there's no technology, there's no railways in that ecosystem. So in other words, the biggest AI ecosystem in the world won't allow you to go and upload something that you build and build a business out of it. So because what we see is kind of an old school style of like peer-to-peer or maybe users to users interactions, where if you go to Hugging Face forums, people are talking about hey, I have trained model for, let's say, medical industry. I have a trained model for traffic lights in the United States. Anyone wants to buy it, and people are just chatting on a forum, and they might be exchanging their emails and phone numbers, or whatever ways that normally people do business, like a Facebook marketplace where people basically chat each other, right? It's great for people to discover each other, but there's a huge missing element of, like, people cannot interact each other financially. The cool thing about smart contracts and Web3 wallets, we can solve that problem. So if I happen to have, for example, a great trained model for whatever purposes, right? It could be, I could be training my model for recognizing maybe animal behavior, like a video rendering, maybe a foundational model, so it can understand all is needed to upload some footage from a zoo. It can recognize the behavior. It can give you some insights. Let's say I have that model. What I can do, I can create a business logic around it. I can say, okay, anyone who's using my model for 1 hour, pay me 0.01 in Ethereum, pay me in $2 in USDT. And here's my wallet is attached to the model itself. Like, that's what OpenxAI X Studio is all about, right? So you can actually build those. You can build those components. You as a consumer, you can go and consume other people's creations. And if you are a builder, you can actually build it to provide these services to anybody in the world. And the consumers can pay directly to the creators, and they are paying completely in crypto. There's no credit card, there's no banking systems, there's nothing. They are the entire service between the consumer and the creator is protected by a smart contract and secure by a smart contract, and they can interact each other without a middleman. So if you've seen a lot of marketplaces, the marketplace is the middleman, right? In our case, our marketplace is basically allow people to discover each other, um, but we don't see what people are interacting each other, because when someone interact with someone else, it's going to be completely peer to peer, which is very, very cool. So now we have some hurdles to overcome, right? Because if you think about, like, giving a lot of let's say building blocks for builders to go and build. So essentially, these building blocks will be owned by OpenxAI at the beginning. And I was thinking that's not cool, because if you're holding the entire building blocks for builders to go and build it, it's not something like a community owned it. So what we are experimenting right now, what we are discussing with the product and engineering team, is what if, before we launch our marketplace, what if we just do a AI primitive sale? So what that means, imagine these foundational models. If you go to our OpenxAI Studio today, if you go to App Store, you'll be able to find tons of foundational models right now. All those foundational models are hosted on OpenxAI currently, and is currently technically owned by OpenxAI. Um, so what I was thinking, what if we do, like, I call these models are primitives, or like building blocks. So what if we do a sale to public, so public can actually buy those models? These are foundational models. So if we do whether we can do, like, those who have OpenxAI token, they can come to our new platform. They can stake OpenxAI token, and they can mint these foundational models to their wallet, or we can just ask them to pay in USDT or USDC, whatever it is, or Ethereum, for them to buy those primitive models. So when you purchase these primitive models, like what are these primitive models, foundational models, data sets, compute, GPU, software. Like since we can tokenize pretty much anything within our OpenxAI ecosystem, we allow people to tokenize and then owned by the user. So for example, let's say as an example, we are launching this sale day where people can come and buy these models and they can tokenize and they can own by themselves. Um, People will come and buy those little building blocks. Now the cool thing about owning these little building blocks, because you're now are the owner of these building blocks. So for example, if you go to our studio, so we have DeepSeek as a one foundational model. Imagine we have, let's say, 20 copies of DeepSeek, and people can come and buy it. And 20 wallets will own 20 copies of DeepSeek as a foundational model. Now, in our platform, we have a section called Build. So we have a marketplace for people to discover and builders to ship whatever they build into the marketplace so others can discover. The other function of the new X Studio will be build section. In the build section, I'm thinking having a simple interface, which is kind of like a chatbot. You can go to chatbot and you can say, build me a trading bot between Solana and let's say Base. And I want to focus on XYZ pairs as an example. Then the chatbot going to say, okay, so in order for me to execute what you're asking me, I need these foundational models or these building blocks. It will show you a list of building blocks that the agents required for agent to be able to build that. So then agent can actually show you a list of these primitives or building blocks that owned by other people. And then each person who bought these primitive models, they'll have a specific price. They can set specific price per usage or completely ownership. So it's kind of like a intellectual property giving like royalties, right? So if you happen to own these basic foundational primitive models, and under your wallet, you can say on your backend, on the platform backend, you can say, okay, anyone who's using my foundational model, pay me as a loyalty fee of 0.001 USDT per each usage. Now I'm going to upload that into the platform. So the platform keep a record of, okay, user A said DeepSeek foundational model cost 0.001. User B shows 0.002, which is double the price. Now, when a user comes into our platform and say, okay, I want to build an app, and then the agent will say, okay, in order for you to build this app, you need to have these foundational models. So these foundational models, it will show you, okay, you can buy from user A, which is cheaper, or you can buy from user B, which is maybe cheaper but reliable because it has a historical data, right? So if I were to give you a good analogy, what I'm actually describing, if you're a bit confused, so think about like you're building a house, yeah. So you as a house owner, you want to buy a house, right? You want to build a house, and then you want to buy the house. And then you hire a contractor, and the goal of the contractor or the main engineer is to design the house and buy the materials and just build the house. So then what the contractor can do, contractor come back to the homeowner or the home buyer. You can say, okay, I can build this house for you, but we need to buy these materials. So there's a supplier A can provide, let's say, basic house materials for $10,000. Another supplier can do that for 11,000. So, and then this contractor can provide multiple options for the whole homeowner. And the homeowner can decide, okay, I like this, let's go and build it. this price seems reasonable. So that's the whole idea here. Imagine these, like the materials of building a house is owned by people. These are the basic building blocks. These are the primitives. I call it primitives because obviously these are the basic building blocks that required for people to actually put together. So I think if we enable these features, we are going to see something that we haven't seen in Web 2 or Web 3 world. So all of a sudden, community-owned building blocks of AI building blocks in the AI ecosystem, whether it's a data sets or compute or a GPU or a model or agent, then people can come and build using other people's models and other people primitives, and then they can build things using those models. And the cool thing about this concept, since there's a free market, anybody can decide what kind of price they want to rent out their foundational models. If you're selling too high than anyone else, then you probably won't even get any fees or any transactions for you. So since there's a marketplace, there will be a competition. So what that means, when you go to OpenAI today, or when you go to Grok, or when you go to Google Gemini, when you're interacting with that chatbot will give you a one price for you whenever you do interacting with these with the chatbot. It will charge you is a single value, because the value is created by those corporations. Corporations set the price. But imagine all of a sudden, like a group of people providing these, let's say, the basic infrastructure, and it's a kind of a competitive market. Instead of having a monopoly dominating AI industry, we can democratize it, which means small communities can come up with some competitive price. Instead of charging like $20 a month, it can be a $1 a month. Might be a very, very better service than maybe ChatGPT. ChatGPT might be in a broader sense, but then they can use an open source model to fine tune for a one specific industry. And then for those who want to consume those kind of a fine tuned models, they can access that for a fraction of cost. So the idea of allowing other people to benefit another group of people is a really good concept. I think OpenxAI will enable that. So that's what we are doing for a month of December. And I think that's where we're going to see a lot of innovation in that space. Okay, and I have one more update as well. So then I'll wrap it up. I'll pass it to John to ask all the community questions. So the next update, so this one is a little bit non-technical. So we've been thinking of building kind of like a really good developer and user onboarding process. Because if you're having a marketplace, if you're going to have a little bit more complex interactions, people need to learn about it. So you have to go through a journey. They need to understand, how to interact with this ecosystem. Because for a lot of people, these kind of technologies and innovations going to be like new. It's like 1999. You never used a computer, and then all of a sudden there's emails, there's internet browsing, there's something called e-commerce. People never heard about these things. So people need to learn. People need to somehow go through a journey instead of bombarding with a lot of heavy load of information. So we're launching something called OpenX Academy. So the website is somewhat live. You guys can go and take a look at it. So it's openx.academy. So the idea of that academy is whenever we do in-person events or online events, we are going to be inviting people to join that ecosystem. So we have free courses. We will create a few courses. I mean, a lot of materials that required for these kind of programs we already have that we created in the past, like understanding like what is blockchain, how to set up a wallet, and then what is a decentralized AI means, what is vibe coding means, how to do vibe coding. So we'll be creating these courses, and when you pass the course, so the basic course is what is needed for to pass the first stage. So we have 4 levels, like a university or a college or a career. If you get a job, you have like a levels that you can achieve. So we will have level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. So level 1 is entry level. Entry level, you can become an entry level by just completing a course and receiving a certificate as an NFT. It's all Web3, by the way. So it's everything free. You just connect your wallet, you start your program, and within a day you become like the first layer or the first level, and then you will be receiving some OpenxAI token for completion, uh, and then you can go through a journey, right? We have something called a concept called active contributor, verified contributor, and OpenxAI expert. So, because what we've seen across like ecosystem developments, like I was part of, because I'm part of a lot of ecosystem development projects in the past. Um, it's quite difficult to actually bring on board a community and also keeping the community with you, because a lot of people who are coming across let's say technologies or ecosystems like OpenxAI, they need like few things. They want to know, okay, so what can I get from this ecosystem? What can I contribute to this ecosystem? Can I learn? Can I increase my probability of maybe advancing my career? Can I network? Can I meet some industry professionals? Can I belong to a community that I'm not part of at the moment? I want to learn something. I want to be mentored. So there's so many, like, I would say, needs that we see across multiple, like whether you're in university or whether you're actually in a Web2 Web2 industry, that you are looking at transitioning into Web3 industry, or you are already in the Web3 industry but you have no idea about AI in AI space and you want to get into it. So this is a really nice platform. So once you get your first certificate or the NFT certificate, within one day, you will become a verified contributor. So verified contributor is where you can have access to, let's say, certain resources that you can do, like mini projects that you can earn in stablecoins or OpenxAI tokens. So you are contributing to our ecosystem. It doesn't have to be technical, right? So you could be someone just hosting an event locally in your local university or local region, or maybe you're writing a blog, right? Or could be you're building some tech, you're building a product on top of OpenxAI. You might be just maybe adding a server and running a server into our network. So we can do multiple things. So you can constantly be part of the ecosystem, and you can also can get benefit. And I think we are going to see people will be kind of a stick with our open XAI ecosystem, because they have a very strong incentive for them to be be integrated their professional life with OpenxAI. And expert is where like people like we call it entrepreneurs. So when you have a good track record, you'll be able to have access to our, let's say, grant programs where you can get, let's say, as an example, like $2,500 or $5,000 for your startup idea. You can come and go and build on OpenxAI network, and you can utilize our resources to actually build your first AI company, right? since you don't have to register for a bank account or a company, you can just basically running the entire AI services on OpenxAI network. So the same way, like someone can go build a decentralized exchange on Ethereum and it's completely running on top of Ethereum, you can just do that in OpenxAI. So that's the beauty here. It's not an L1 chain, it's basically AI infrastructure for people to build things. So I think OpenxAI, OpenX Academy, I think it's going to be a good stepping stone for us to have some more professional um, kind of onboarding process for the marketplace, because we want to have high quality, like a killer apps on the marketplace. So in order to create high quality apps, we definitely need to onboard people. We have to, give people a little bit more understanding of our vision, our quality, and expectation from the protocol itself. So then people can start building high quality apps. So we can maintain good high quality like the services offered by OpenxAI marketplace. So these are the updates from my side, and let's jump into uh, a Q&A from the community.
Okay, thank you, Ashton. Yeah, my name's Johnny, if you didn't catch before. DevRel at OpenxAI, and yeah, really looking forward to the app marketplace launching. Just some other news, so stay tuned for the announcement later this week. You're talking about high quality apps being on the app marketplace. We've met a lot of excited builders in the hackathon space over the last couple of months. So stay tuned for some of those updates where we'll be working with those teams to really ramp up and launch what they've built. So yeah, looking forward to that news coming down the track. But yeah, let's kick off the question AMA section of this event, and we'll run through some general questions first. So this one, Ashton, is about the token, OpenX token. Is it planning to launch on any tier 1 exchanges? If so, is there an estimated timeline for the listing?
The short answer is yes. It would happen in November or early December. This tier 1 exchange that we are working with, they need MiCA white paper. It's a little bit process that we have to go through, but the short answer is yes, and expect before 15th of December.
Awesome. The second question I can help answer, but yeah, if a person's a Web3 developer and they want to join the OpenxAI development team, what's the process to apply? Could you share a link or a person to contact? So I can help answer this one. We do have a community forum that has a lot of the job positions with more information. So please check out the community forum at community.openxai.org and look for the jobs forum, and you can see all the different roles that are available. Just comment there and we can see that. The other thing I have mentioned in a lot of workshops over the past 2 months is we're not a big centralized company that has 6 rounds of interviews. You won't be seeing that from us. What we look for is people that are willing to roll up their sleeves and get involved. And the easiest way to get involved and show us what you're made of is just to join the hackathon. There is a hackathon currently running. But yeah, we have had 2 hackathons that have finished up in different regions around the world. And what we're doing is looking at what these people build in the hackathon, how they go about building it, how they communicate it on Twitter. Do they record a video and talk about it on YouTube? We can see that it's all open source code. So we're looking at the code as well. So just from in terms of assessing people that want to join the OpenxAI team, get it involved, be a part of the hackathon, build something, offer your services in the community, and we can see that, and we can potentially recruit from that massive talent pool of people getting involved. So, yeah, anything you want to add to that, Ashton?
No, I think if you're really keen to be part of our engineering and product team, we definitely need those talents. I mean, send me a message. I may not be active on Telegram much because it's. I mean, I get 200 to 300 messages a day. If you guys want to reach out something, send me a message on Twitter or LinkedIn.
Yeah, awesome. Same for me too. Just DM me on Twitter, John Forfar. The last question from the general section is just when do we think the DAO governance will happen?
So we have first version is up. You guys can see it's called sign.openxai.org. So that's kind of like the first version. So anything that we sign in terms of contractors, anybody that we engage, it will be public, which means anyone can go and verify. Because right now, in terms of transparency, community has no idea who is signing up, what's the scope, how much tokens we allocate. So the first step for us is we are showcasing to everybody in the community who is involved in the project, what kind of a token allocation they have, what are their mandates, how much tokens will be receiving to those people or organizations, for what purposes. You can see all of that, which means those who are working for our OpenxAI network, we can make sure these people will be accountable. That's the first stage. The second step would be is to have our simple voting mechanisms. Like I've had a bad experience with having a terrible designs with DAOs in the past, because often what happens, people have a different interest. They just vote for things, and either the token holders, like if you go like a typical typical DAO designs, majority votes can kind of overrule a lot of decisions. The issue with that is like whoever has the largest tokens, they can alter the entire network and the roadmap. So for the DAO, we have some good designs, but we don't want to launch everything at once. So the next stage will be like in December. We will be announcing a public forum, completely on-chain for public forum, where people can highlight and vote for things that we are going to be prioritizing. For example, if you say, okay, month of December, January, we are thinking of allocating $10,000 for XYZ type of purposes. What is the community vote in terms of, should we go ahead with it or should we not go ahead with it? So there will be some frameworks. The first step is already live. Like I mentioned, the tech is live. If you check in 1 to 2 days, you'll be able to see a couple of members that we onboarded recently. You'll be able to see their commitments. Everything will be recorded. So check in 2 days. The URL will be sign.openxai.org.
Awesome. The next 5 questions are all about the base mini app factory. So let's move on to that. When will I be able to deploy a mini app? Is what community members asked.
20th.
20th November.
Yep.
The second question is, since the mini app factory is a collaboration between Base and OpenxAI, will Base be promoting it on their official Twitter or X account? If so, when do we expect that promotion to go live?
We already submitted a request for Base, so they already confirmed. The tweet can go within 24 to 48 hours from base official. And we also requested to highlight, because we are one of we actually made a really great progress of having a 10,000 whitelist. So the spotlight, weekly spotlight, that also will go at the end of the week. Um, but the official tweet will go within 24 to 48 hours.
Awesome. The next question is about the whitelisting. So, when is the mint day for the first 1,000 whitelists? I believe that's about the Genesis NFT.
Yeah, that's 4th of December. We're planning.
Okay, great. The next question is about the App Store and the partnership with Base. So one person's asking about it, when they build a mini app, is it deploying simultaneously on OpenxAI and then also over on the Base App Store?
So these mini apps are like a Farcaster, like it will appear on a Farcaster feeds. So, and base app can discover those apps, right? So it will be listed on OpenxAI marketplace for sure, for people to like buy and sell and rent and interact with it, more like a DeFi. Like imagine, just think about like a DeFi meeting based mini apps. That will be the concept with our marketplace. But for the base app, people can discover through the base app once this is uh, properly launched.
Okay, great. The last question for Base Mini App is how will these OpenxAI mini apps be monetized? Will it be monetized for the creator and for OpenxAI? The example they gave is, for example, Virtual's AI agents. They each have their own tokens. This person didn't agree with having a token for every mini app. There's enough tokens. But yeah, basically, when a person does have to spend 20 OpenX tokens, what happens with that and how does it get monetized?
But the difference between launching our own tokens for the mini app, which is a terrible idea, because we've seen like garbage tokens be created by Zora and places like there's tons of places allow users to create their own token. I think it's cute, but what is the actual long-term sustainability, right? So unless you are a very serious creator, you might be able to monetize. But why are you launching your own tokens? I mean, you could monetize using stable coins or Ethereum, right? So because the issue, like what people don't understand, like being able to create liquidity infrastructure, right? So you can have a liquidity pool on Uniswap or AirDrum or wherever you're deploying, but then in order for you to like accept people, you're basically limiting your user base. If you're saying, okay, I accept USDT, people can actually accept that, like Ethereum or any other form of payment. So, for monetization point of view, like for us, when you launch your base mini app, you can launch it to our marketplace. So, if people like to buy a mini app from you, then people can buy you straight out from you, and they can pay you whatever the price that you're willing to list. So same way how you can list an NFT on OpenSea, you decide how much you want to sell or rent, and people can buy or rent out of you. And of course,
Okay, fantastic.
and also
Yeah.
we have the, at least for users to get at least that cost back, we have something called a deploy to earn. The moment you deploy, you actually receive some rewards, regardless if someone is buying from you or renting out from you or not.
Okay, great. The next section is all about tokenization of GPUs. So tGPUs. We've got a few questions here for that from the community. So is the tGPU going to be cross-chain or just specific to one chain only?
Uh, I mean, theoretically, TGPUs can be any chain. Um, the idea here is you rent out a GPU, and using our proof of reserve consensus algorithm, or the mechanism, you can put up a collateral, and you can basically mint these TGPUs. I think BNB is going to be a great ecosystem because of the type of audience there. I consider TGPUs are the next gold, uh, because compute is kind of the gold that people treat right now. If you can own digital compute, and if you can earn some yields out of it, I think it's going to be a good narrative. BNB ecosystem is a great ecosystem for that. So we are working with BNB ecosystem, and I think with the Binance Week in December, we'll be launching some of initiatives, because the concept here, like I mentioned this few times about the concept around TGPUs. Um, like if you can buy electricity, as an example, uh, I gave you this example in Australia. So if you can buy electricity like off peak time, let's say 3 o'clock in the morning, you can buy, let's say, 10 kilowatt for, let's say, $2. And if you can sell that back to someone at a peak time, let's say 9 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning, you might be able to sell that for maybe 200%, 300% a price difference. There's a huge arbitrage between peak time and off peak time. Compute the same thing. So when the US is sleeping, Asia, um, like compute price might be high. When US is waking up, compute price can go higher. Compute price usually lower on a weekend compared to like Tuesday. So there are peak in compute prices. So if you can own compute, and if you can get this some of a value capture between this arbitrage between the demand, supply, demand, it's a great mechanism. It's a lot more complex than easier. Like the way I'm describing is a lot more complicated. But our first use case will be to tokenize specific NVIDIA GPUs, so people can like have a co-ownership of a hardware, and you can have like a fractionalize a GPU. So I think BNB going to be a great ecosystem to launch that kind of an initiative.
Yeah, awesome. This links into the next couple of questions. So, can the tGPU be traded on the OpenxAI dashboard? And then also, will the tGPU be tradable or listed on any SEX or DEX in the future?
No comments. I cannot reveal everything, guys. This is, I mean, this is going to be one of the biggest, I would say, this is going to be one of the biggest innovation by OpenxAI and OpenMesh in the last 2 to 3 years. So we will be announcing that soon.
That's awesome. The last question about tGPU is, will there be some portion of the tGPU buy and sell fee used to buy back or burn OpenX tokens?
Yeah. So we, you try to get the answers right. So to the previous question, if you think about like an exchange, and exchanges usually generate fees, and you can connect the dots. So I'm going to skip the question, but the short answer is yes.
Okay, so that's the last of the tGPU questions. We've got the final question now. So this one is coming from the community member. He's basically said, I love this project and it's all of its fundamentals, but my next question is, will this project be able to survive a long bear market with no VCs? And that's the final question.
So with the update with the like the the 10x in 100 days master plan. Um, we have a really good roadmap. That's why I'm focusing on the US. So now we have established entity in the US. The goal for OpenxAI is to work with the really good ecosystem partners. I cannot reveal a lot of the plans we are discussing, obviously, because that's a part of our announcement. But for a long-term survival point of view, we will be working with a couple of financial infrastructure, like backing the project long term. So if you guys heard about DATs, so we got multiple offers from multiple DATs in New York that they wanted to work with OpenxAI, because evolution of DATs, like it used to be the first, obviously the guy who started is Michael Saylor. Um, Technically that's the first version of it, and then you have DATs for Solana, Ethereum, and every projects that you can hear about. But now we are seeing an evolution where there are DATs designed for a basket of protocols, whether it's L1 chains, L2 chains, or RWAs, and etc. We're going to be working with a specific few kind of a DATs. I would say more vehicles to have a long-term funding. So 2026, we will close those funding rounds. Yeah, so we are in discussions right now, because what we are seeing in the US specifically, um, for the first time in history, US government is now recognizing permissionless protocols. So it is a huge thing for a protocol like OpenxAI, because 5 years ago or 2 years ago, um, government only recognize like a foundation-backed crypto projects, or if you have a private company representing some sort of a software service, right? So in the US, you have LLCs, you have C corp, S corps, you have like a private partnerships, you have foundations. These are sort of legal vehicles that US recognized in the past, but with Trump and some of the latest bills that with the administration is passing, now they're recognizing even like a public protocols. Like if you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin is a public protocol. It recognized as a protocol, not as a cryptocurrency. So there's a big difference between how like governments and regulators are looking into these things. So that opened up a huge floodgate of capital and appetite for decentralized and permissionless protocols, and we are well positioned to those kind of uh, uh, you know interactions. We want to make sure we are working with the right people, because like raising money is not it's not that significant problem. You can raise money from any VCs that you like. As long as you have a company, you can raise tons of money. But for us, we want to work with like those who really understand the future, the value of OpenxAI, value of permissionless AI, value of decentralized AI, and etc. So that's why this event is very important, because the event itself is the first, the biggest, I would say, the first and the biggest, like unveil of all the innovation and technology. It's because whatever you guys see right now, if you go to our website or X Studio, anything that you can see right now public, what we are about to announce in December is like 10 times bigger. So we have to go that public first in order to activate the remaining. So that's why December is going to be an important month. And November, of course, we are working, but we had to push everything to December because of the market conditions. But we are working through all the items that we had to execute.
Okay, great. Ashton, thank you so much for the community AMA and all the questions and answers. Very exciting news. And I think we will wrap up the AMA today.
Well,
Thanks everyone for the time. Yeah, Ashton?
let anyone ask any questions live, if anyone has any question.
Yeah, just raise your hand and I can promote you to speaker. I'm not seeing any hands raised. Nothing seen. I think we'll wrap up there, Ashton.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Thanks for your time. Exciting news, and see you next one.
Thank you, everyone.